goes to prove my theory, which is it's not about beating your body up. It's about taking care of your body and giving it proper nutrition and treating it kindly and truthfully. It will pay you back in dividends way beyond what you ever thought possible. But yeah, so I'm not against 75 hard. I am not trying to convince you not to do it. I think it's fantastic, especially since you are modifying it to fit you. So I'm not discouraging you at all, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be as hard as what people think in order to attain the results in your physical body. What I want you guys to hear is what she said about the process and how it was the easiest thing she'd ever done. She actually thought that was the most mind-blowing, was that she finally found something that she could get the results. And here's why. She wasn't beating her body up. She was actually eating good food. She wasn't starving herself, and she wasn't overdoing it. If you have a relationship with any person, and it's a good relationship, meaning you're looking out for their best interest, you're being honest with them, you're, when you say you're going to do something, you do it, you guys have this really great relationship, it feels good. And when you can have that same relationship with yourself, it feels good. When you know that above all, you're taking care of yourself, you're giving yourself what you need in order to live a long, healthy life, that's when the body responds the best, which is why I love macros, because you're not denying yourself anything. We had a question on one of our coaching calls last week where two clients who are friends were on the coaching call, and they had this debate going back and forth. And they said, okay, we need you to answer this question for us. And one of them said that she drank diet soda, and she quit because she was on a diet. And her friend said, no, you can have it because it fits in your macros. It's 0 calories. You can have it as much as you want. And she said, yeah, except whenever I drink it, I bloat. So there's got to be something to it. And they wanted to know which is the right or wrong answer. Is it a yes for the diet soda or is it a no for the diet soda? And my answer was, you're both right. Yes, you 100% can have it. Anything you want, you can have, because as long as it fits in your macros, you can have it. But she clearly doesn't need to drink it because her body revolts every time she does. Her body responds in a way that it gets very bloated and she just doesn't feel good. When you are doing macros, you have the freedom to eat whatever you want. And because you're more mindful about what you're eating, you actually get to pay attention to the foods that your body loves and doesn't love. And isn't it a lot easier to give up diet soda because you know when you drink it, you're going to feel awful, than to give up diet soda because someone says you can't have it? Because when someone tells you you can't have it, you feel deprived. But if you eat it or drink it and it affects your body in a negative way, that's an easy no for you. Because you don't want to feel that way. So then you get to make the decision. And macros frees you up to eat all of the foods, meaning that your body gets to communicate with you and let you know, hey, this doesn't work for me, this works for me. And why is that so brilliant? Because there are no two people on this planet that are exactly alike. So if someone tells you that a keto diet is better for you, that might not necessarily be true, because maybe your body actually does do really well on carbs and not as much fat. But you don't know that because you're just trying to attain a goal and someone has told you this is the way to get there. Macros gives you the ability to have the freedom to eat all the foods and then decide for yourself which ones your body tolerates well and which ones it doesn't. And as long as it fits. You guys saw those before and after pictures of Maggie. She wasn't meticulous about anything. She just gave her body good food, and she exercised consistently for 20 to 30 minutes a day, 4 to 5 days a week, and saw drastic results because she built a relationship with her body. She built a relationship with herself. She learned how to listen to her body, how to eat foods that she loved, to exercise moderately, and it wasn't stressful, it wasn't difficult. and she enjoyed it. And, once you get the knowledge, it's yours forever. Once you learn where your metabolic rate is and what it is that your body tolerates and doesn't tolerate, that's specific to you. And no one can tell you that. It's only by your own experience. And likely, if you're on here, you've done diet after diet after diet, you haven't gotten the results that you want, and likely you're at a standstill. Because diets are cookie cutter. They tell you what you can and can't eat, how to eat it, when to eat it, and no two people on this planet is different. Macro says, here's your metabolic rate. These are the foods, or this is the amount of calories that you can have in this day in order to maintain your current body weight. And this is how many calories that you need to take in order to cut body fat. And this is how many calories you need to take in order to bulk, which would put on body fat. And then from there, you get to decide how you fill those numbers. And you get to do it based on what you're craving. A lot of times, once you get past the beginning stages, you'll think you're craving, if you're a salty person, you'll think you're craving the French fries and the burgers and the pizza, and you can have it. You absolutely can have it. If you're a sweets person like me, you'll think that you're craving the donuts and the ice cream and the chocolate chip cookies, and you'll crave it and you'll eat it and you'll have plenty of it. And then you will start to realize, okay, now that I've had my fill of it, it's not taboo to me anymore. Although I can still have it, I'm starting to pay attention to how my body feels. And now that I'm paying attention to how my body feels, now I'm looking at food completely differently, because nothing is off limits to me. I can have anything that I want. And because I can have anything that I want, what do I actually want? Versus, oh my God, I can have it, let's eat it all. It just shifts here. And once you get there and you realize you can have anything you want, anytime you want, you start to really sit and go, all right, I want to eat, I'm hungry, what do I want? And you'll drive past every fast food, Dairy Queen, and you'll go, nope, nope, nope. Why? Because you realize you can have it anytime you want it. But you start to realize really quickly that once you eat it, you're like, that didn't feel so great. I don't feel as good after eating that as I did after eating this. And it doesn't mean you can't have it. You can still have it. 100% of the time you can have it. And it's funny, last weekend, I was on my way out of town and I wanted breakfast, and McDonald's is one of my favorite fast food breakfast places because I love their egg and cheese McMuffin, and it has Canadian bacon on it. It's actually a pretty healthy breakfast if you're going on the road. So I was super excited about stopping at McDonald's to get this breakfast. I pulled in and I realized that I was just a little late and they weren't serving breakfast any longer. And so now I am stuck ordering lunch. And I was like, okay, now it's a different game, but I'm here now. So you know what? I'm just going to order a chicken sandwich and a small fry because I love their fries. But I knew that I didn't want a whole lot of fries. And I got in the car. And as I think about that chicken sandwich and as I ate it, I thought, this is the last time I'm ever going to McDonald's. This is so not feeling good to my body. It's not tasting that great chewing because I know how I'm going to feel after I'm done eating it. But you know what? I can have it, so it doesn't really matter. And so I ate it, but it was just one more reminder of how far we come in our diet mentality just by listening to your body. Amanda's like the college graduate here. Do you have any wisdom for all of our ladies this morning?
Forgive yourself. You're going to have days where it doesn't go exactly to plan and exactly the way you want it. And the best thing I can say is to forgive yourself, and each minute is a new minute. So if you didn't like the way the last minute was, change the next one.
Yes.
It's not even about the next day. It's the next minute. It's completely up to you, and realize that life is going to happen. and every day's not going to be perfect, and you just go with what you got.
I love it. And remember that in a fitness journey, what is a fitness journey? It's life. It's a physical body life. It's how are you doing life in this vehicle of a body that you have? And truth be told, it's a process and it's learning, because you are 1 in 4 trillion, meaning there's never going to be another one of you ever. So for someone to tell you what you need to do in order to live your best life is not true. And what my dream is to hand every single person that comes to Metabolism Mastering, hand them back their power, to teach them how to never need another diet or another fitness coach or another guru or another book, but for you to realize that your body, you and your body have a relationship, but you haven't had the freedom to know that because you have been told or believed, based on, living life and just seeing things, that there's only one way, and then you try that and it doesn't work. Well, then this one is only this way, and you try that and it doesn't work. Why? Because you are not them. And sure, it'll work for a lot of people for a while, but then ultimately it doesn't work long term. If people ask me all the time, can you make me a diet plan? Can you make me a meal plan? No, I can. Yeah, 100% I can. I can charge you a lot of money. I can tell you exactly what to eat and you'll get the results. I can. I don't want to control you to get your money. I want to free you to be able to eat whatever it is you want. And here's why it's so important. And I love hearing Amanda say that this morning, because if Amanda was the only one on this call and she's the only one I can help, it doesn't matter, because once Amanda gets free and she starts seeing results, now she has the knowledge. Then Amanda has other people that go, wait a minute, hey, what happened? How did you do that? And she's like, oh, let me tell you my secret. And then she gets to share it. And then they get to share it. And then ultimately, we learn how to get our freedom back, that we don't have to buy diet pills. We don't have to take supplements. We simply can get everything that we need from the food that we love. And then also recognize that if you're going on vacation and you want to eat all the food, do it. You'll never hear me say, don't do that. You're going to ruin your diet. Do it, because your life is worth it. You don't want to go on vacation and deprive yourself for what? Enjoy life, ladies. Enjoy life and realize that you can have every single food that you want. Start paying attention to how those foods make you feel, and then make your decisions on what you're going to eat based on that, because that's your body speaking to you. That's you listening to your body. That gives you the freedom to realize, okay, I can have this, but I don't like the way this feels, so I'm not eating it any longer. I can have it. I can have it whenever I want. But when I eat it, I feel this way. And for that reason, it's just not worth it to me.
I would also say don't deny yourself. Like, if you have a craving, the worst thing I've done is deny that craving, because then I want it more. And when I finally do get it, I overeat. Whereas now I'm at a point where if I want it, I go ahead and eat it. Like at the grocery store yesterday, they had white chocolate covered pretzels. And I was like, ooh, those look good. So I got them and I brought them home, ate 2 of them, and I was like, no, I don't want them.
Yep.
I was fine after the 2. Like, that satisfied my craving, where in the past I would have not bought them and looked at them every time I went in the grocery store until I finally bought them and I sat down and ate the whole thing. But because I went ahead and ate it, got it, I satisfied it, now I'm good. Like, I'm sure one of my kids will finish eating them now.
Yeah, and also think about this. Had you not gotten them, you'd already planted the seed of something sweet and salty. So then when you got home, your first thought would be, let me find something to cure the craving that I didn't get because I didn't think I could. So now that I'm at home, let me find something that I can put in my body that might satisfy me. And then you end up eating so much more than if you just say, I want the Snickers candy bar. Pick it up. And I've learned too, like I'll pick up a candy bar and I'll start eating it and I'll get halfway through it and I'll go, that's it. I'm done. That's all I wanted. And then I'll fold it and put it away. And likely, and I've learned this too, because if any of you have come from a home where it was like, there are starving people in third world countries, you have to eat all the food on your plate. So then when there's food on your plate, you go, I can't throw it away. Perfect example. I went to this breakfast place in Georgia, one of my favorite breakfast places ever. And they make the best food. And I ordered myself a meat lover's omelet, cheese grits, and a cinnamon roll pancake. And the cinnamon roll pancakes are this large. And they are to die for. And you guys know I have a sweet tooth, so I was so excited about this cinnamon roll pancake. And I was eating with someone, so I was like, she'll help me with this. So I like to try to focus on my protein first because I'm a muscle building girl. I want my muscles, so let me get my protein in. Plus, that was delicious. And then I started on this pancake, and I could not even get halfway through it before I was like, all right, this is gluttony. I'm literally just eating it because it's here, and I am not feeling well. I am overdoing this, and I can feel it. So now that I feel that, let me just stop. But can I please get a to-go box? Because I don't want to throw this goodness away. And she got me the to-go box, and she brought it to me. And my friend who's sitting across from me, she got the same omelet as I did. She basically got the same thing I did without the pancake. And she has half of her omelet left. She doesn't eat it. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. We'll take these to go. And she says, no, I don't want mine. I'm not going to eat it. And I thought, blasphemy, you're going to throw that food away? But it was a really good reminder for me. Like, you know what? I'm taking this because of a sense of lack, as if I can't have it any time. Truthfully, just letting this thing go is going to be so much easier than taking it home and then eating it because it's there, not because I actually want it. And so I was really proud of myself. I did not fill my to-go box. I left it on the table and I left all of the food. And it wasn't a bad decision. It was a habit decision of let me pack it up and take it with me because I don't want to waste it. But is it wasting it by leaving it, or is it wasting it by putting it in a body who's not asking for it? Truthfully, letting it go to the trash that doesn't care if it comes or not is a much better idea than just shoving it into a body that's living and deserves the best, just simply because you think that there's not more to come when there always is. Yeah, I love that pretzel story. That's phenomenal. And I always love Dawn's story about the pizza that I was telling last night. How she used to go every time she was stressed, she'd eat a whole pizza. She'd order it, and I was like, well, I've already ruined my diet. I've already had 2 pieces. Might as well finish the pizza. And then when she started with macros, she ate her 2 pieces, and she thought, let me just put this in. Let me just see how badly I've messed up on my diet. And when she realized after putting those 2 pieces of pizza in that she 100% could eat them, that there was absolutely nothing about those 2 pieces of pizza that threw her out of her macros counting, then she stopped at the 2 pieces. And that changed her life. She no longer goes in and eats an entire pizza because she feels like she's ruined her diet. She just eats what she wants. She puts it in her her calorie tracking app, and then she goes about her day. So she has the freedom to eat what she wants, but she doesn't overdo it anymore because she realizes that having it did not kill her diet. You can have it. And it teaches you self-control. And you'll learn too, like for the, I remember the very first time when I was really early in counting macros, I went to the Wings and Things place to get some chicken wings and french fries. And I was so excited because it fit in my macros, so I could have it. I had lots of calories left for the day. And I walked in and I was hungry. And as I was standing in line to order, I thought, let me just go ahead and start putting this in my fitness pal so I can see exactly how much I want to eat because I'm starving. And I put in a chicken wing. And that bad boy was 90 calories with mostly fat and very little protein. And I thought, wait, what? I'm gonna have 600 calories for 6 chicken wings? I'm gonna be starving afterwards. That doesn't even give me room for my French fries. Not to mention the ranch that I wanna dip this bad boy in. No, I could go right across the street to Zaxby's and get me a fried chicken salad for 700 calories, and it's so large I can't finish it. That'll be 2 meals for me. I wasn't able to make that, and it wasn't that I was craving these chicken wings, because if I was craving them, I would have still just eat them. But it was that's where we were, and so I was just going to order, and it's chicken, right? I mean, it's chicken for God's sake. When I realized that some of the foods that I thought, I used to eat all clean, all natural. Peanut butter and jelly, all natural bread. My peanut butter and jelly sandwiches were almost 600 calories. Little to no protein. But it was all natural. It was clean. It was healthy. It was also very calorie and fat laden without as much nutrition in it as my body needed. So, anyway, do you guys have any questions?
I do have. So, do you have to track everything you eat for the rest of your life?
No, I don't track at all.
So, how do you
I don't.
your macros?
Well, I mean, so what do you do for a living, Jenny?
I manage life.
Say that one more time.
You're picking up.
I'm a manager.
You're a manager?
Yes.
So when you became a manager, did you know everything about managing?
No.
Did you have to refer back to a lot in order to learn what you know now? Like manuals, reminders, papers, things to help you accomplish the job that you do now without even thinking about it?
Yeah, I just do it.
That's exactly how macros works. In the beginning, it's just like anything else. You have to learn it. You have to figure it out. You have to learn it. Okay, I just made myself a cup of coffee right here. I know that this coffee is 70 calories with almost no fat, a lot of carbs, and almost no protein. Why do I know that? Because I've done it this long. I know that I put 2 tablespoons of creamer in black coffee. I know how much. I got the all natural creamer, so it's just it's 2 of them, so I was exactly right. It's 70 calories. I haven't looked at it, but you can see there, it's 35 calories per tablespoon. I put 2 in there, so I knew immediately this was 70 calories. It's 10 carbs, 0 protein, and 1.5 grams of fat. So I know that by all that it matters is that you count your protein. It doesn't matter about your carbs and your fat. Count your calories and your protein. I know this is 70 calories of 0 protein. This is empty nutrition for me, but I like it, and that's all that matters, and I'm gonna have it. But I do know that I'm not starting off this morning with a ton of protein. So what I have for later, because I'm going to yoga in an hour, what I have for later packed for me to go is a big fat chicken breast, and this is about 320 calories, and it's about 45 grams of protein. And here is a burrito that I made in an Olay tortilla. You can see there's nothing written on it, but I can tell you exactly what's in there. There are 2 eggs, there's a tortilla, and then there's an ounce of turkey sausage, and about a tablespoon of cheese, and 2 tablespoons of cottage cheese. I know exactly what's in here, so when I put it in my FitnessPal, I could tell you exactly what this is. I had a thing one day, somebody asked me the same question. They're like, do you still track? I said, no, because I know it. And they're like, well, how do you know it? And I said, well, let me tell you this. I can tell you based on what I know I ate today, that I've eaten about this many calories, and I've had about this many grams of protein. And just to see how accurate I am, let's do this. I pulled up the phone, and I literally put everything that I ate into my FitnessPal. I was within 100 calories for the day, and my calories are 2,000. So with the number of 2,000, I was within 100. And my protein, I was like 2 grams off, and I eat around 140 grams of protein. it becomes knowledge. That's why I say it's so brilliant, you'll never need to do anything. Once you learn it, it's just like a job. You go into a job, it's daunting. You don't know what you're doing, you're learning, and it's a challenge. But once you learn it, you can do it with your eyes closed. And macros is exactly the same. Once you learn it, as a matter of fact, I'm doing something that I've never done before. I'm preparing for a competition in April, and I'm not tracking anything. I'm not going to put anything in my FitnessPal. This is the first time I've ever done this. But I'm being very mindful about what I'm eating. I'm starting the middle of the month, because it typically takes me 3 months to get stage ready. But I'm starting the middle of the month to start preparing for my competition, and just to prove how amazing this works, I'm going to do it just based off of my knowledge. And I'm going to still eat the foods that I love. I'm going to be very mindful that I'm in a deficit, and because I'm in a deficit, I'll be very mindful about the amount of calories that I take in. But I'm going to do it without tracking it, because this works. And when you figure it out once, and it's not even a figure it out. There's nothing to figure out. It is simple as simple can be. The easiest thing ever. But once you start tracking your food, you start realizing really quickly that the size of your fist is about 3 to 4 ounces of whatever lean meat that you put in. You realize white meat is going to be less fat, so it's going to be less calories. Dark meat is going to have more fat, and it'll be a little bit more calories. Anything with the word loin, pork loin, tenderloin, sirloin, those are the leanest cuts of meat for that animal. Fish and any kind of seafood is really high in protein, really low in calories, with the exceptions of the fatty fish like Chilean sea bass, salmon. You can see I'm spitting these things out to you, and I have absolutely nothing in front of me. I'm reading off of nothing. I've done it, and this is not something that it takes you years to accomplish. As a matter of fact, I think I tracked for 3 years. And it wasn't meticulous. It was, in the beginning, I tracked pretty meticulously until I had confidence that I knew it. And then if I was unsure about something, I would go into my FitnessPal and look it up just to see what the nutritional facts were before I blindly ate it, just because I didn't know. And I did learn from experience that there were foods like the chicken wings that I would have assumed would have been lower in calorie and higher in protein, and they were not. So if I was eating something that was different, new, that I hadn't had before, I would want to look it up so that I could educate myself on what the nutritional facts were in it before I ate it. And then you also start paying attention to like labels on food. Like, you have things like this. This is a cereal, kashi. Right here in the middle, 10 grams of protein. 10 grams of protein for a cereal. Holy cow. Well, a serving size is 3/4 of a cup for that 10 grams of protein. 3/4 of a cup. So if you go in to your drawer and you realize that it's 3/4 of a cup, this is 1/4 of a cup. It's 3 of these. That's it. And it's 220 calories. 220 calories for 3. Is that going to fill you up? And is it worth it? Maybe. Maybe not. But the bottom line is you get to decide. And you get to decide because now you know exactly what you can take in order to attain your goals. And you get to decide what's more important. The sweet tooth with a little bit of protein and a lot of calories, or maybe you say, you know what, I want it, but today I don't want to have to offset the rest of my day by taking in that many calories and not getting in my protein, so it's just not worth it for me today. But you can have it. You get to choose. This is why I love, or I don't do meal plans. Because if I told you to eat that and you didn't want that, it would take a lot of your calories out of your day. And then you would have to, work out trying to get the rest of your protein in. So yeah, you figure it out, and you figure it out fairly quickly, and then you start realizing really quickly too what feels good to your body. You're able to pay attention to foods that you're eating a lot more. Not even it becomes like second nature. You go in to eat something and you're like, okay, that has rice. That's a lot of carbs. That's going to be a lot of calories. Maybe I'll go light on the rice and then get heavy on the protein, and I can still have that. It's still going to fit perfectly. It's going to fit even better if I just make a little bit of an adjustment.
That makes sense. So basically just focus on protein and your
That's all. Well, protein, calories, fiber, water. Those are the four things. And when I first started counting macros, it was count your protein, your carbs, and your fats. And that's like playing the lottery. If you know you have 2,000 calories, you have to get 140 grams of protein, 232 grams of carbs, and 46 grams of fat. I mean, it was literally like, okay, I'd be at the end of the day, okay, I have 600 calories left. I need to get 40 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs, and 5 fats. Oh my God, what food has those combinations? That's going to be challenging. And it became like this, it was kind of fun, and yet sometimes a little bit like, oh my gosh. The science has come so far, and all of the studies have shown that it did not matter how you took in your carbs and your fats, as long as your calories and your protein are equated, the fat loss results were exactly the same across the board. So now, because science is so fantastic, we've learned that as long as you stay within your calories and you eat your protein goals, then you're going to see the results. And the fiber is important because protein is thermogenic, means your body takes a long time to digest it, and it also burns a lot of calories as it's digesting it. But because it's a slow-moving food, you need the fiber to come help offset that so that it moves it through your system regularly. And fiber requires a lot of water in your system to digest it, which is why you want to make sure that you're getting in adequate water. There's lots of other reasons why those things are important, but just for digestion purposes, that's, to me, a good enough reason, and then the rest of them are just bonuses.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Any of you new ladies, if y'all have questions, feel free to jump in and ask. I see you talking, Christine. I can't hear you. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if I can't really mute you.
There we go. Sorry. I was trying to hit the unmute. I just want to say thank you for inviting me to this Zoom. Thank you. I was on your live last night.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah,
Do you have any questions?
No, but what you just said though, I didn't know that. Like when I used to do keto and for like a year, and I lost a lot of weight. And I was okay with not having rice and pasta. I was like, okay, I'm losing weight. This was right after COVID. And then my sister has been doing macros for years. And then I was so confused. I was like, she's like, it's very easy. So it took me a little while. And like you said, I was focusing on like protein and carbs and fat. And I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this? Like, it's just not calculating. So then she said, so now I've learned, like what you said, you just focus on calories and protein, fiber and water. And I've been trying to do 10,000 steps since January 1st. And yeah, so it all makes sense and it works. I feel great.
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's normal. It's what normalcy looks like. You're not. I mean, for people who don't like carbs, if they want to cut that out, perfect. But if you love carbs, you can have them. Rice, pasta, whatever it is that you want.
Right. That's why, like with keto, I wasn't having those foods. And now with macros, my sister was like, you can have rice, you can have pasta, but you just put it in your macros. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I can have potatoes, rice, anything I want. And I was like,
Yes,
well, can I have chocolate? She's like, just put it in your macros, you know?
yes,
So, yeah,
yes.
so it's great because you can have anything you want, anything.
Anything you want. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Absolutely anything. Nothing is off limits. We had a lot of
yep,
people asking about alcohol. Like, yeah, you can have alcohol. It's really, as long as it fits in your macros, you can have whatever it is that you want.
yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Amanda, do you see Carrie's back with us?
So I do have a question.
Yeah.
I'm new. I came in last night to your live and got the okay to be here this morning. And I just want to know how to even go about calculating what your macros should be.
Yeah. So what you want to know is what your current metabolic rate is. And there are two ways to do that. One way is to go into a lab and for them to do this very extensive test. It's very, very expensive. And I don't recommend that because there is another way. It's really, really easy. It is by tracking your food for at least 2 weeks. And when I say tracking your food, like don't change anything. And if you've changed it recently, then you need to go back to eating how you normally eat. And in going back to how you normally eat, you're going to track that for about 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, you're going to find out what your average daily caloric intake is. And whatever your daily average is, that's going to be about where your current metabolic rate is.
Okay. I guess that's another place where I'm going to struggle because I'm I think I've been overweight, or what I feel has been overweight for so long that I'm kind of more on the obsessed side of not eating anything because my weight fluctuates so much or seems to fluctuate so much that I really started watching a lot of doing the intermittent fasting, but I just couldn't wrap my head around that whole process until one girl just was like, okay, just eat here's your 8-hour window. This is your window to eat. And so I started doing that and I saw the weight come off, but I don't want to do that for now on. I know that that would be okay, but I just want to kind of get back to a normal, get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, have some eggs and cottage cheese for breakfast. And, just kind of getting back to normal eating over being so obsessed with what I'm eating.
Yes, I see Amanda shaking her head. Do you want to add something? Because Amanda's been here. I love it when the clients that have been here come back because as a fitness coach, obviously, we are going to tell you information, and it's true. It is true. But we have something to gain because obviously if you sign up to be a client of mine, it benefits me. So I like to hear from the clients that will get no benefit from this, but have some feedback. Do you have any feedback, Amanda?
I would just say, like you said, that you are kind of like highly focused on your food. I would say my opinion would be to channel that into tracking everything you're eating, because then that gives your mind a purpose, somewhere for you to focus so that it's not just thrown out the window. You're just writing down or putting in an app every single thing you're eating, and trust the process. Once you get your macros set, you might be told to eat more than what you're used to. Trust it. Don't immediately dismiss it. It's going to play mind games with you at first, but I promise it works. I've been with Bex a year and a half now, and the way she teaches you, it does work. You just have to put your trust in her. But it will come, and it takes time.
Yes. And what I do love is the majority, I would say, out of all of the clients that I have had over the years, I would say around 90% lose weight when they start eating more food. And the reason why is because your body needs nutrition in order to properly function. There are a lot of your functions that they're functioning at half mast because they're not getting proper nutrition. So when you start eating more food and you eat it intentionally, your body starts working more like a well-oiled machine, and therefore it starts responding in a really amazing way. And that's one of the things that it's challenging to convince people is eat more food, and I promise you, you will see results. That's so backwards for what most people are used to being told, that convincing them of that one thing is the hardest part of this business. That is the hardest job that I have, is convincing people to trust it. Do you have something, Amanda? I saw you coming forward.
I have some. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I agree. I agree with Bex, because I was very skeptical at first, and I was like, "There's no way this is gonna work," because I'd always thought in order to lose weight, I had to eat less. And once I started in my reverse diet, I lost 6 pounds. So I was eating more than what I thought I was supposed to, but I actually lost weight because I was giving my body the fuel it needed.
And what was your starting calories?
My starting was like 1,300.
So you went from eating 1,300 calories a day to 2,000 calories a day and lost 6 pounds.
Exactly. Because I gave my body what it needed, what I didn't realize it needed.
Yeah, and that's exactly how this works. When I say it's brilliant, that's an understatement. Christina, did you have something to add?
Since I've been doing macros, I was eating 1,200 calories when I first started, and I was losing weight, but my sister was like, "You eating, less." I thought that less was better, and but it's not, because before Christmas I was doing 1,300, 1,400. Now for the past 3 days, I'm doing 1,700, more food, and I feel amazing. I feel better. I'm like, I thought by eating more food, I was like, oh my God, the scale's going to go up, but I don't even look at the scale. It's like how my clothes fit, how I feel. It's not about the scale. I was always so obsessed on the scale. Always. I was like, oh my God, I'm not losing. But then my pants felt better, so, but I'm eating way more now and I feel so much better, and it's only been 3 days.
I love that. And on top of that, what I love is that you said the scale. If I could give any advice to any person listening to my voice right now, it would be get rid of the scale, because it is not an indicator of progress, simply because a scale doesn't dictate muscle mass and body fat. It just dictates weight. I'm looking for a photo to pull up so that I can show you guys exactly what I mean. So in this photo, okay, there it is. In this, you guys see that? There's a clear. Okay. In this photo, I weighed about 115 pounds because I'm a shorty. And so you can see this. And then this photo, I weigh about 120 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So if I allowed a scale to dictate my success when I was here and that scale started to go up, I would have quit way before I got here. Simply because that number on the scale would have and almost did discourage me to the point of deciding that it's not worth it because the numbers are going up and this doesn't make sense. But when you're losing body fat and gaining muscle mass, it is not uncommon. As a matter of fact, it's only logical that the number on the scale isn't going to change or even increase. And like Amanda had said, she lost 6 pounds in a reverse. The reason why the pounds came off is because she was giving her body nutrition, and it was so quickly that she was giving her body nutrition, she hadn't had time to gain muscle mass to really offset the pounds. Because in the reverse diet, it's really fast that your body starts responding to the amount of food that you're giving it in such a positive way. So you don't really, you'll see, I feel like you see more weight loss in a reverse diet where you're adding more food in than any other time. Because once you get your protein to where it needs to be, you've just provided the fuel for the muscles to start building. And once you start building the muscles, it's very unlikely that you're going to see a ton of change on the scale unless you have an excessive amount of body fat that you want to lose. Then you might see the numbers change. But always remember that if you've added protein, and if you're counting macros, you're eating adequate protein, and you've added strength training, you're now growing muscles. You might be losing body fat, but you are growing muscles. And always keeping in mind, too, that even if your clothes fit tighter, muscles, as they grow, they will fill in any of the gaps that the body fat is leaving. So it's not uncommon to see cellulite show up more. It's not uncommon to see your clothes fit a little bit tighter because you are growing muscle mass, and that muscle mass is pushing out. And a lot of times it's just like a demolition on a house when you're remodeling. Sometimes it looks really ugly before it looks really, really good. It's just about trusting the process and sticking with it and building confidence in yourself by doing it every day. And like Amanda said, recognizing that every day isn't perfection. Maybe you're traveling and you couldn't nail it because you were on a road trip. You don't get back from the road trip and just go, the last few days or week didn't go well for me because I couldn't do everything perfectly. No, you say, I am human, I'm living my life, and that wasn't ideal, but it doesn't matter because I have the rest of my life to continue doing this, and I'm not going to abandon the rest of my life journey over the last 3 days. I'm going to recognize that this is life, and it's not only happened yesterday and the week before, but it's going to happen again. And it's just about being consistent the majority of the time so that in the times that I can't be consistent, I know it's going to be okay. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it because loving yourself is just as important as giving yourself good food.
And it's not always going to be easy, especially when you first start out counting your macros. You have to be very intentional and think about what you're wanting to eat. For me, I had to plan it by the day, a day ahead, because it was a struggle for me to hit my protein every day. Mm-hmm. And so I had to be very intentional with making sure I was eating the right things. So for me, that was planning it the day before. But everybody's different. So the group I started with, Dawn, figured it out and ran with it, and she was amazing. I was a little bit slower on getting it figured out, and that was okay.
Yeah.
I still ended up getting it figured out, but it just took me a little more time than other people, and that's okay. Just my biggest thing would be don't give up. Stick with it every day. There's going to be challenging days. There's going to be days where you just don't feel like it. Just don't stop, whatever you do.
Yes, I love that. And I love, just like she said, some people will pick up on it quickly and keep going. It's just like anything else that you're learning. You see some babies, they're at 8 months old, they get up and they just take off walking. And then you see some that are over a year, creeping a year and a half, and they're still crawling. Does that make one better than the other? No, it makes one different than the other. And it does not matter. And you know, sometimes I find the ones that take the longest to get there actually soar, because they realize the work that it took to get there, and they are like, never letting this go. I mean, this was so worth the win, and now it's mine forever. So yeah, let yourself off the hook. Recognize, if I could instill anything into every person that I get a chance to invest in their life, it is, I'm fit. I have a kick-ass body, and when I look in the mirror, I'm like, yep, that's me. It doesn't make me happy. It does not bring me joy. It surely feels good. It's walking around with my own personal trophy. But happiness does not come from a fit body. Happiness comes from a healthy body. Happiness does not come from anything outside of you or anything that you see in the mirror, unless you look in the mirror and recognize that you, no matter what weight you are, no matter what color you are, no matter what gender, no matter how many tattoos, how many piercings, how many things that are different about you than anyone else in the world, you are perfect today, just as you are, regardless of how much body fat you have on your body, regardless of how many things that you want to see different about your life or your physical body. Sure, if I have a nice car and it's dirty and it needs a lot of work, I want all of it to be fixed. I want all of it to be done. But I still love that car for the fact that it gives me the ability to go wherever I want to go every single day. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate it so much, I'm going to take really good care of it. I'm going to have all the oil changes done. I'm going to make sure I keep it clean. I'm going to be very mindful that that vehicle is a blessing to me. And this is your vehicle. You are not your body. You have a body. You are priceless. Your body gives us the ability to recognize your value, not because of the way it looks, but because it gives you life. So if you're breathing today, that's enough to be ecstatic, because there are a lot of people that aren't breathing today that were breathing yesterday. So if you're breathing today, no matter what you see in the mirror, whether you love what reflects back to you or not, recognize that only you can change the reflection. To look at the mirror and say, I need you to change, without you personally doing anything to make that happen, is insanity. But whether it changes or not does not make you any more or less valuable. Whether you ever have a six-pack, abs or not, you are priceless, just as you are. The only reason why I do this is because I believe everyone deserves the right to live in a healthy body. But I also believe we were given taste buds so that we can enjoy every single thing that we eat. And no one should tell us that we can't have Krispy Kreme donuts. And no one should tell us that we can't have fried chicken and pizza. If we want it, we were given taste buds so that we could enjoy it. And we can enjoy it, and we can enjoy it in moderation when we start letting ourselves off the hook, realizing we can have it. But even more than that, realizing that whether we have it or we don't does not dictate the value of the person that we are. Because we are not our bodies. We have a body, and we get to decide what we do with this amazing costume of ours. And it's only up to us. And I love you guys very much. And I'm going to be mindful of everyone's time. It's 8:32. Does anyone have anything that they want to share before we sign off for the day? All right.
I do have one more question, and I apologize. Can you just go through really quick again how to go about? You said for me to track my food for 2 weeks and kind of see. Can you just go over that really quick with me again before we go? And then
Absolutely.
I'm gonna send you a private message because maybe I shouldn't be doing this within the group. I would really like to join this group. This has been amazing, and so I will send you a private message because I would love to join you guys.
Yeah, we would love to have you. Absolutely. And don't ever feel that way. I can tell you, and I speak for every single person on here, most everyone on here has been a client of mine for quite some time. I can tell you that every single one of them on here would say, the floor is yours. Whatever it is that you need, we are here for you. That is the group of ladies that always becomes a part of Metabolism Mastered. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. We have the best group of ladies. No one here is here for just themselves. Everyone here is here because we love watching people win. So if you need space, we are here to provide you with that space because you are just as valuable as the President of the United States or uh, the biggest millionaire, you are just as valuable as anyone on here. So you deserve as much space and as much time as anyone else on this planet. So don't ever apologize. Now, saying that, I use MyFitnessPal. You can use any calorie tracking app that you would like, but MyFitnessPal is an app that's been around for quite some time. So it's got a lot of the foods already downloaded in it. Download the MyFitnessPal app and literally don't think about what you're eating, just log it. And maybe go, I don't know if you've ever used MyFitnessPal, but if you haven't, you know, just like anything else, there's a little bit of a learning curve. So kind of go in and just play with it a little bit and see how it works. But just start logging your food without thinking about it. Like, what would I typically eat? I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to see it. It does not matter to me what you're eating. All that matters to me, the most important part of this is just eat how you normally eat, knowing that no one's going to be looking at it. All I'm going to ask from you at the end of 2 weeks is let's find out what your average numbers are for your calories. And once I have that information, then we can start setting your macros to help you attain your goals.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm so glad that you joined us. And Christina, I'm so glad that you're here as well. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I am so grateful for all of you because without you, I could not have the freedom to do what I do. And I absolutely love it. To be able to do what you love every single day is a dream come true for me. So thank you for allowing me the freedom to do that. And I think every single one of you are absolutely amazing, perfect, priceless. Don't ever forget that. The vehicle that you're in deserves the best, not because of the way you look, but just simply because. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. All of you know where to get me if you need me, and I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Hey, Bex, I
Yeah.
have one quick question.
Shoot,
Is this,
Jenny.
can you send me this recording?
Yeah, I will post the recording to the group. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so
And
much.
really quickly, I'm going to share this recording on our YouTube channel. Is there anyone opposed to that before I do that? Is everyone
No,
okay
not
with
at
that?
all.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So I will be posting this one on YouTube because I think it's got a lot of good information that might help people. And I will see you guys next time.
Have a great
Awesome.
day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yes, you too. Have a great day, guys.